are 9 mistakes ahead of him. Do you think Rosen will regret saying this?
He's an idiot. And I'm going to say that now on national television to this guy who's supposed to be so intelligent, his IQ is supposed to be off the charts.
Josh Rosen is a walking contradiction.
To say Josh Rosen's career has been underwhelming would be an understatement. He has got to be the most disappointing 10th overall pick in the history of the NFL.
Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Josh Rosen came into the NFL as the quote-unquote most NFL-ready quarterback coming into the 2018 NFL Draft. There were lots of quarterbacks in the 2018 NFL Draft: Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, and Sam Darnold. Obviously, out of those 5 quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are the only ones considered to be relevant to this day. Baker Mayfield you can make an argument for, but really, I don't think that's going to turn out well if you think about it. Josh Rosen was the 3rd quarterback taken off the board, 10th overall, and a little bit after Sam Darnold, about 6 picks after. Now, the only thing that I really remember about that day about Josh Rosen is his post-draft press conference. He came out and he said, "There were 9 mistakes taken ahead of me." Now, I don't know what you think about that statement, but I think it's pretty cocky. When you compare him to other quarterbacks in that draft, you would say that Baker Mayfield was the cocky quarterback, but truly, in my opinion, Josh Rosen was the cocky one. To put a little perspective on how stupid that statement was, the 9 quote-unquote mistakes taken ahead of him: at number 1, Baker Mayfield, still a starter in this league, can't rip on him for it. At number 2, Saquon Barkley to the Giants, one of the best running backs in the league. I wouldn't necessarily call that a mistake. At number 3, Sam Darnold to the Jets, still a starter in this league. Compared to Josh Rosen, that's no mistake. Number 4, the Browns took Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in the league. Number 5, Denver Broncos took Bradley Chubb, one of the better edge rushers in the league. Number 6, Quentin Nelson, arguably, one of the best guards in the league. Continuing on here to number 7, the Bills took Josh Allen. Number 3, best quarterback in the league currently. At number 8, Chicago took Roquan Smith, now Baltimore Ravens linebacker Roquan Smith, one of the better inside linebackers in the league. At number 9, the San Francisco 49ers took Mike McGlinchey, which you could argue that was a mistake, but really he's still a solid tackle in this league, maybe not worth the number 9 overall pick. But that brings us all back to number 10. Arizona trades up with Oakland to select Josh Rosen. Let's talk about how that season went for Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen came into the 2018 season as the backup to Sam Bradford in Arizona and didn't see action until week 3 against the Chicago Bears, in which they lost the game 16-14. Rosen completed 4 of 7 passes for 36 yards and 1 interception. The following week, Josh Rosen made his first start in week 4 of the 2018 NFL season. They lost 20-17, but he did show promise, throwing for 180 yards and 1 touchdown and no picks. He helped the Cardinals earn their first win the following week, however, against the San Francisco 49ers. He completed 10 of 25 passes for 170 yards, including 1 75-yard touchdown pass to fellow rookie Christian Kirk. Following that game in Week 7, Rosen ran into one of the best defenses in the league at the time, the Denver Broncos, and got absolutely destroyed 45-10, fumbling twice, lost both of them, sacked 6 times, threw 3 interceptions, and had 1 return for a touchdown. Actually, 2 return for a touchdown, This game was the final straw for Mike McCoy, their offensive coordinator. He was immediately fired and replaced with the quarterback coach Byron Leftwich. In the Cardinals' second matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, Rosen showed his best promise he ever showed in his career, leading an 18-15 comeback win for the sweep over the 49ers. He threw for a career-high 252 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes, including the game-winning score to Christian Kirk with 34 seconds left on the clock to rally the team back from a 15-3 deficit. From there, the Cardinals lost a lot of games and wouldn't see another win until Week 13 against the Green Bay Packers. Rosen completed 11 passes of 26 for only 149 yards to upset the Packers at their home stadium 20-17. The Packers were 14-point favorites in that game and ended up getting head coach Mike McCarthy fired in Green Bay. And that ends about all the positives that Josh Rosen had in Arizona. He finished his rookie season with 2,278 passing yards, 11 touchdown passes, and 14 interceptions. The Cardinals finished 3-13, 3-10 with Rosen as their starter. His 66.7 passer rating was among the worst among qualified passers that year. Now, was this enough reason to take a quarterback immediately in the next draft? Probably not, and that's probably not fair to Josh Rosen. On April 26th, 2019, during the draft, the Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray first overall in the 2019 NFL Draft. Rosen was then traded to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for a 2019 second-round pick and their fifth-round pick in the 2020 draft. Looking back on this trade, it was an absolute fleece for the Cardinals, and good on them for realizing they made a mistake and immediately getting rid of it. Now, this Dolphins team in 2019 was abysmal, and some were even saying they were going to go 0-16. In the first 2 weeks, the Dolphins were outscored 102-10 and starting the year 0-2. This wasn't Fitz magic, this was Fitz tragic. Rosen finally got another chance to start in Week 3, in which he threw 200 yards as the Dolphins lost 31-6 to the Dallas Cowboys. In Week 4, he got another chance against the Chargers. He threw for 180 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 pick in a 30-10 loss. 2 blowouts in a row didn't look too good for Rosen. Rosen's touchdown pass was his last as a Dolphin. Following a Week 5 bye, Rosen had his last start with the Dolphins and was benched for Fitzpatrick after 3 quarters while throwing only 85 yards and 2 picks against the Washington Commanders, then Washington Redskins. After that loss, he was benched the rest of the season, and Ryan Fitzpatrick started the rest of the season. In the offseason, once again, the team he was on drafted a quarterback in the first round. The Dolphins selected Tua Tagovailoa with the 5th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Rosen was unable to surpass either Tagovailoa or Fitzpatrick on the depth chart, and Miami immediately cut him on September 5th. Now, this is truly where the team hopping began for Rosen. On September 8th, 2020, Rosen signed to the practice squad of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which he never made a single appearance in the regular season. However, in December, Rosen was signed by the San Francisco 49ers off the Bucs practice squad, following some injuries to Jimmy G, as usual, Nick Mullins, and practice squad quarterback Josh Johnson, who also is a team hopper because he was placed on the COVID-19 reserve list. Rosen became active for the final 2 games with the 49ers, but once again didn't see any action. On February 8th, the 49ers signed him to a 1-year contract extension, and on August 17th, 2021, after struggling to compete for the 3rd quarterback spot behind Garoppolo and Trey Lance, he was once again waived. Now, to this point, Rosen hadn't seen any action for about 2 years on the regular season football field, but the Falcons took a chance on him and signed him after a season-ending injury to second-string quarterback A.J. McCarron. Once he signed, he was named the second-string option behind Matt Ryan for the season opener. He came in plenty of times, once against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which they were blown out 48-25, and he came in against the Dallas Cowboys, in which they were blown out 43-3. He did throw a pick in that game to Jordan Lewis. And then he finally made his last regular season appearance against the New England Patriots, in which he came in relief for Matt Ryan, who threw 2 picks in that game. Rosen completed 1 out of 2 pass attempts before throwing an interception to Kyle Van Noy that was returned for a touchdown. That was the last pass attempt by Josh Rosen on an NFL regular season football field. Truly a sad way to end off your career in the NFL. Now, Rosen is still bouncing around some practice squads. He did sign to the Browns practice squad, a 1-year contract. They terminated the contract after the preseason, but signed him back to the practice squad for a couple months until he was released from it in October. The Minnesota Vikings then in turn picked him up and kept him until the end of the 2023 season on their practice squad. Currently, Josh Rosen isn't on a football team, but that could all change. Right now, we're at the beginning of NFL training camp season, and he could sign at any second. Injuries can happen, and Josh Rosen has already capitalized that plenty of times in his career. Is there still time for Josh Rosen to turn this around? Probably not, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the Toss the Mic YouTube channel, and of course, catch our podcast anywhere you get your podcast. I suggest Spotify, or follow us on TikTok, or check out our link tree in the description below. We have plenty of social media, so check those out. I'm Johnny Raider, and as always, have a great day, fellas.